Hey, Chris Johnson here. I am unapologetically a fan of professional wrestling. It's fun. I've watched professional wrestling for as long as I can remember. I still watch it. It's just a fun fucking show. It's theater. It's goofy bullshit. It's fucking men and women flipping around, pretending to beat the shit out of each other. I'm totally fucking on board. Sometimes I get really into it, watching these goddamn matches. Oh my fucking God, he fucking kicked out. What the fuck? What is happening here? You know what a big problem with professional wrestling is? The fans. They got a lot of douchey fans, a lot of goofy douchebag fans that just fucking argue with each other online. It's a shitty fucking fan base. You see these fucking conversations on like Twitter and shit, like, man, motherfucker, like I don't want people to think I'm associated with this shit. This is dog shit. It's kind of like Star Wars. Like, Star Wars got a lot of fucking like douchey fans. I'm not super into Star Wars, but I'm fine with Star Wars. Like, if it's on, I'll watch it. I saw all three of the old movies, the old ones. I didn't watch like the prequel trilogy or the new ones. I don't care enough about Star Wars to watch it. But like, if it's on, I'm like, I'll fucking kill some time and watch fucking Star Wars. I'll watch these fucking Ewoks in the trees and shit. But the fans are so fucking weird. It's a weird, douchey fan base. I feel like the fan bases for a lot of shit are like that. Comic books, comic book movies, sports, fucking grown men arguing about who the MVP should be. He's got more fucking touchdowns and less interceptions. Would you shut the fuck up, you fucking nerd? Go get laid. Jesus. Matter of fact, go get laid can be used for like fucking any number of these fucking groups. Go outside and fucking talk to a woman or a man. Get fucked, would you please? Ease some of that fucking tension. But if I can fucking circle back to professional wrestling, there was a professional wrestler when I was growing up. His name was Lance Storm. Lance Storm's fucking awesome. I fucking love Lance Storm. He was one of the Impact players. He was in ECW and WCW and WWE and all that shit. He ran a wrestling school for a little while afterwards. And every now and then he's on like wrestling like radio shows and, you know, does his own fucking like podcast. I don't know if they're his podcasts. I don't know. What I'm saying is I see videos with this motherfucker and I listen to him because I like Lance Storm. And he was talking about this fucking game that they used to fucking play, like when he was in wrestling school or some shit he did with the students. And I've never forgotten because I fucking practice it. I play this fucking game. In wrestling, you need to have like a certain amount of charisma. You can't just have some bland motherfucker in the ring. Nobody's going to care about that fucking guy. You got to have some fucking pizzazz, right? So what they used to do to test it, you know, to test your presence and your fucking charisma and shit, they would go on a bus and they would find like 2 open seats and they would sit in one of the seats. And the fucking game was like you had to fucking, without saying anything, you would intimidate other motherfuckers to not sit down next to you. That's how you knew, like, oh, this motherfucker's got some riz. He's got some pizzazz. He's got some fucking game. He's got an aura about him where nobody's sitting down next to him. I also unapologetically do this shit now in public spaces. I will sit in a fucking bus, like, after a race or some shit. Sometimes you gotta get bussed back and forth. And I will fucking take an open seat, I'll take the inside, and I will fucking dare motherfuckers to sit down. People walk by, I'll just fucking glance at them. Got the fucking hair, I scowl a little bit, a little growl, and just see. Any motherfucker sit down. Most of the time, the answer is no. You know what that tells me? Chris Johnson's got some game. I got some fucking aura now. And sometimes they'll ask me to sit down. They don't have to ask me to sit down. They'll be like, can I sit here? And I'll grumble, yeah, you can fucking sit down, god damn it. And they'll fucking sit there a little nervous about it. I got them on edge. They wonder about me. I also do the opposite of that. I did the turkey trot a couple weeks ago, and I was one of the last people on the bus. So there are a lot of people sitting in fucking 2-seaters with a seat open. And I was looking for the biggest pussy, and I was going to sit next to him to establish dominance. To just flash my fucking balls and just fucking slam them on the fucking table. I want you to try it. Try this shit in public. Sit down in a public space and try to emanate the fucking hatred that I can emanate to get people to not sit down next to you. It is a fucking skill. Some people can't do it. I also feel like this game is way easier for men than it is for women. Because women got to deal with like all kinds of creepy shit from fucking men. I mean, this isn't a fucking scientific game or anything like that. But I feel like women would be terrible at this game. Not because they want to be terrible at the game, but because, like, men see a fucking woman, especially if they think it's an attractive woman, they don't give a shit what signal she's sending out. She could fucking say, I fucking hate you, don't sit down here. And that motherfucker will think like, oh, dude, I got a chance. She just spoke to me. She's talking to me. I got a chance, right? Come on now. They'll fucking try to do some small talk, some chit chat. I've heard that. Post-race, a woman be checking her phone or stretching or some shit and some dude walk over like, hey, how'd you do? Like, you know they don't know each other because she's a little uneasy. She's like thinking to herself like, what is this asshole talking to me? A woman could like flash a gun and like point it at the motherfucker and he'll think like, well, she notices me. She's looking at me. I'll wear her down. But like, if you're a dude, you can play that game. I mean, a woman could try to play the game too, but like, you're just going to get some creepy guy sitting next to you. But dudes, try to play the fucking intimidation game. Play the Lance Storm game. I think about it anytime I'm on a fucking bus Anytime I fucking sit down at like a fucking post-race party, I'll sit on a bench. Will somebody sit next to me? Probably not. Although there are some people that sit next to me on these benches after these fucking races now. These people know my name. And they'll call me by name. They'll be like, hey, Chris, how'd you do? And I'll think, what the fuck? There's a contingent of the quote-unquote racing community around here that know who I am. And like they hear my name because like if you get like a medal, they announce it. They're like, fucking second place in the fucking 40 to 44 age group, Chris Johnson. I know some of their names too, but like we never exchange the names, so I don't use the names. I feel weird about using somebody's name that I just like got from somewhere. I'll still use the, hey man, what's up? I've never addressed any of these motherfuckers. But I'm not kidding. It's a fun game. And what I've learned is I am an imposing figure. I will be back Sundays and Wednesdays as the new podcast episodes come out. Podbean is the host of the cast. Every goddamn episode is there. But I'm also on Apple Podcast and Spotify and Pandora and iHeartRadio and wherever the fuck you want. I am on Twitter. That is at Johnson Hates You. I am on Facebook. Right in my timeline. Also Instagram, hot running photos. That is at maybe the number 5 minutes.